I'm just making roaches and roaches right now, right?
Yep.
God, I hate force feed. Am I wrong to keep engaging this?
Um, I don't think so.
And one thing that you really do well is you rally down the map quite nicely, so I'm going to try to copy you in that regard.
Yeah, keep sending your reinforcements. It's very nice to target fire Colossus, by the way.
That's probably pretty good advice. I kind of feel like we win.
I think so too. I hope so.
Out come all the void rays. When I have absolutely nothing that can shoot them, and I'm completely maxed.
Just put up a Hydra then. Um, lose some supply. If you had like 2k gas, I would say go meet us. Mm, you can still go meet us, but
So
you should use those roaches you have at its third base to go kill the fourth base probes.
you think going like 15 mutas is good or bad?
I think it would be helpful right now.
Alright, that's what I will do.
But after that, you want to get the Hydra range upgrade, and then
Holy
just use those.
Christ, mutas aren't gonna do shit against 20 void rays.
They will help. You don't want to get Hydras too, though, so just get range. After you snipe the Nexus, I think you should leave.
Think I'm burrow? Yeah, I
Burrow's
can.
good.
To the natural.
Alright, mass out Hydras now. And reset your rally points. Would be nice to snipe that Colossus with your Midas. Just so he doesn't have anything against Hydras later.
GG.
GG.
Great success.
That was good. I think your drone numbers really helped you there.
Yeah, it was nice being able to make stuff. Okay, so let me ask him if he can bust out a different build for us, because I want to get your take on something else.
Okay, let me just go to the bathroom really fast.
Yes,
Be right
sir.
back again.
Oh, goodness. How are we doing on time? We've got about 50 minutes, so we got time for probably 2 more games and some Q&A with all you fine folks on the stream. Backspace is how you switch between hatcheries. And no, I do not rebind any hotkeys.
Alrighty, I'm back.
Cool.
You know, that's the one thing about StarCraft 2 is in StarCraft Brute War, when people are talking about macro, it's purely the macro mechanic. Like, you click your hatcheries and you click your units. In StarCraft 2, I think anyone can hold down the R button and anyone can make corruptors, but I think the only aspect to StarCraft 2 macro is being as efficient as possible in the early game. And just, if you get enough drones for the mid game and you're in a good position, then I think any player is going to be able to just mass out a shit ton of units, and people are going to look at that and be like, wow, you know, that's amazing macro. But it's the only thing to it is really being really efficient early game and getting ahead economically, just massing out a lot of drones.
Actually,
as many as you can.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to remake this on a different map so that we can take one more spin. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just realized that if I spend all this time on maps that are pretty good for Zerg, that we're not going to take away anything in terms of what to do on maps that aren't so good for Zerg, like Jungle Basin, for example.
Yeah. There's also a lot of things that we aren't going to be able to do, like...
Oh yeah. 2 hours is
like
not nearly enough time to cover everything.
4-gate is an entirely different animal than 3-gate expand. Void ray builds are entirely different. They require different openings, but I think the key thing is always just to get as much economy as possible.
Yeah, we're actually going to be talking specifically about Stargate builds next week with In Control and Machine. So obviously you're going to be busy with other things, but any insights or any things that you could leave us with, maybe questions to take into that matchup, would be great.
Yeah, I think against Stargate builds, you just gotta... You need those Hydras a lot faster than you do normally. So it doesn't change too much, you just gotta get a quicker Hydra then. But after that, still, you just gotta... Your third base timing and your drone timing has to be top notch, and then you can make proper responses. I've really been liking Hydra Infestor drops against Void Ray into Colossus, because Void Ray Colossus is a rather slow unit composition, and I feel like if you can spread them out with drops and get a good fungal on some Colossus from time to time, and then snipe a few Colossus, I think that's been working well for me.
Man, Hydraless Infestor drop. How much gas do you need?
And
for that
Roach.
Shit? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, you need a lot.
10 gas just to make all that stuff.
It's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, it's a really tough unit composition from Protoss. But I just feel like Corruptor stops working because Void Ray is so good against Corruptor. And then there's also going to be most likely Stalkers with that army, so from my experience, I can't kill the Colossus fast enough with Corruptors anymore. So I've just been switching to a more mass drop, harass, go guerrilla type of playstyle against the Void Ray Colossus. But, you know, it depends. Like, sometimes Protoss will make one Void Ray, and then you can still play Roach Corruptor with maybe a few Hydras. But if they're like massing Void Ray, massing Colossus, then I like the drop play.
Alij is fixing his chair, so apparently it broke in the midst of that intense ZvP we just played. So I guess while we've got some downtime, we could talk a little bit about 4-gate. I know that it's almost impossible to demonstrate without actually being in game and showing people, but just, you know, there's lots of different kinds of 4-gates, aren't there, Rhett? And
yeah,
and it's hard to
I think
really
the
know
most
when it's coming.
the most common one is definitely the one Zealot, one Stalker, and then go out with Zealot, Stalker, and a Probe, and then just the 4-gates will finish, and they'll make a pylon and warp in like 4 Stalkers, and then pressure you right away, warp in 4 Zealots right after, and just keep attacking you.
And that's off of like 20 probes, yeah?
Yeah, something, yeah, like 20, 22 probes probably. What I do is I use my first lings I keep checking the ramp, and if I don't see a sentry, I see a Stalker, and I see the core being chrono boosted like all the time, I instantly get worried, and I might make like 6 more lings. Once those 6 lings are done, he should be kind of moving out if he's going to do a hardcore 4-gate. If he's waiting too long, you got to switch right away to a different mindset. Like, you know, if something else might be happening, you might be going DT. So then you got to get your lair again. But it's still always kind of iffy because there's something like a delayed 4-gate where you get sentries and you kind of bank on Zerg, assuming tech, and you just hit a little bit later with force fields, and that one's really tough too. So you always gotta, if he's not expanding, then something's gonna happen. So in that scenario, you just gotta maybe build 1 or 2 spines, maybe a little bit more lings than usual. It's just you just gotta play very, very careful.
It's tough. All right. Well, we'll come back to that question here in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the show. Right now, I'm gonna have you play against Alij on Jungle Basin, and I have instructed him to abuse the map in any way that he can.
Okay,
so we're
that
just
should be that should be fun.
So we're just gonna play. We're just gonna let you do your normal thing, and once again, I'm gonna be just in your ear, bugging you, and trying to engage you and figure out what your thoughts are.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So immediately, my first question is: it's Jungle Basin. Does that change your opening? Does that change anything about how you approach the matchup?
Well, I'm gonna assume some kind of fast expand build. So if that is what's gonna happen, I'm gonna go lair much faster than I usually do. And also, what's really common here is like fast expand in the Stargate opening. So I think I'm more likely to get a fast Hydra then. I wouldn't play like against 3-gate expand. It's very normal that they follow up with a sentry push. So you always just get the Roach Warren, the Burrow, and the speed. But I think on this map, my opening's going to be differently. I'm just going to get most likely a fast Hydra then, and then anticipate some kind of Stargate play.
Anticipate Stargate play.
But of course, I don't know how he plays, so it could be something entirely different, but we'll find out.
And in spite of the map architecture, you still feel like hatch first is a big risk?
It depends. Most of the time he's going to scout me early anyway, so he's going to block my hatchery, like right now, this probe, so I'm just going to 14 pull. So I don't really have to worry about that, but if I saw no probe at all, I might be tempted to 15 hatch on this map. Even though it's still a little risky, I feel like the only thing you have to worry about is straight up pylon cannon rush. You don't have to worry about something like Zealot cannons. And I feel like a pure cannon rush, you can actually stop it with drones. So,
cool.
However, on this map, I'm not gonna take my gas. I'm gonna do full hatch.
That's interesting. But you don't have to worry about pull hatch here because, like the danger there, I feel, when skipping gas is, he sends a couple stalkers, and 1 or 2 stalkers can basically kite infinity Zerglings and just be a real nuisance, right?
Yeah, pretty much. However, I think if he plays stalker opening on this map, then he's fucking himself, because fast expand is a much stronger opening.
Okay, alright, well that makes even more sense then with your thinking.